Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work-related.
Jay! How's it going?
I'm great again, buddy.
I want to welcome everyone to the Work Related Podcast.
Oh my God, we're that thriving related by work on Twitter, everybody.
Yes, on X.
I threw out the naked fire truck.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah. A couple of people saw it. My buddy said so. I think the video was too long. I didn't get enough. You know what I mean? Again, I'm no pro, but like it was like a minute and some odd video.
You should have doubled the speed.
That's hilarious. I don't know how to do. What do you mean? Before I sent it, or as I recorded it, would I have to have done that?
Well, you could do it. I don't know what you could do.
It doesn't matter.
But double the speed.
It took me forever to fucking, you just throwing out things to do that you don't know how to do.
I can do it.
Like a true leader.
I know how to do it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how to do it on an iPhone.
Oh, shit. So, man, I was going to talk working right away. Did you make me, I almost got rid of my iPhone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I should have in a budget way. And it was the first true test. It was almost like this work thing.
You couldn't do it? You couldn't make the commitment?
I could have got a fold for like $15 a month.
Oh, and you didn't do it, Jay?
Yeah, I got it because I didn't want to lose my iCloud storage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that was
People
one of the main
that?
reasons. What?
People use that?
Well, yeah, because I can't fit it all on my phone for some reason. Like, no, my phone. Actually, my pictures, like everything that I have, is just like the changeover.
No, I know.
I'm going through so the TELUS changeover isn't as seamless as we wanted it to go.
So you skip over the phone and you go straight to TELUS. Let's go.
No, well, this is part of the reason.
I know.
This is why I'm getting the fucking. I'm not trying to sidetrack any questions you got here.
No.
None of my fans, none of the people that I know that listen, like our tech talk because I don't think we know. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. So,
they could learn something. Then.
I see. Yeah, that's what you're here for. And well, this is why we're switching. So, a couple of things, like. Economically, we should do what you said. I hate telling you you're right, but like we should buy back our phones and sell them. I don't know how long it was really going to take. I don't want to put that on you. It was easy to fucking put it on you and do all that, right?
Days.
Yeah. See, so I just don't trust the process, right? And so I don't even I would have had to come up with the $1,500 to get the phones and do all that. So we're just like fuck it to make it easier on us. We're losing money on this proposition, so
less
we're
friction.
fools.
Less friction
everywhere. Less friction. That's what we're hoping for. And so, to get the phone, I would have just downgraded to a 14 Pro Max phone or whatever, or that might be what I have now. But they're unavailable. They're getting ready for the 16s.
Yeah.
Like the promise of changing the phones for cheaper, it was like, well, we can't get it done yet. So we're like, fuck. So we have to get another phone, which is going to be like $33. And what's this? So short story long, we're looking at. I'm like, I could get another phone. I don't want to pay anything. I don't care about my phone that much. And so I was trying to get a downgrade of an iPhone. We're looking at it, it's so hard to get. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just get a new phone, get an iPhone. She goes, oh, then this is where it came up. Oh, you can get a Fold, you can get a Galaxy, and it'll be less money. It's like, fuck, I don't know if I like them as much as when I saw them out there, for real, as I like the idea of it.
I know 2 people who have it right now.
And they like it?
Yeah, Ganesh, who's coming on days, he has one.
Yeah.
And Brenton, shout outs to Brenton, he just got one like a month ago.
So he
said
talked
loves
about
it.
Yeah, so he talked about it for a while.
Yeah.
I already ordered it, so it doesn't matter. It's not good. I'm already switching. But so I could have switched it, but then when the rubber came to the road, I'm like, do I really want to? And so for the less friction, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to stay with my iPhone.
Yeah.
Because I don't care, but that's why I don't want to go through all the trouble of changing everything over.
Yeah.
Right? So I just wanted the same size. It's got like the Plus. It's even a shittier camera. It's the newer model, but it's not the Pro Max.
Yeah, but you don't take that many pictures, so does it matter?
No, so that's why we're changing like that, right?
None of it matters.
Yeah, but before we did that, this is I almost was like, because the whole deal is good. I didn't want to say to my wife, like Tammy, like I told you so. You should have answered the door when the TELUS people came. Like this, you should have been like Selena and told them to fuck off.
Yeah.
And like I did with the sick kids fucking charity that came yesterday. And so the process has gone not as smooth. The internet changed decently.
Yeah.
The security actually was the easiest one.
Yeah.
And then the internet changed pretty decently. But we had no confirmation about the TV, and this is where we're like, man, are we going to lose? Like, there's more. We're more nervous about this one.
Yeah.
And then but we have no confirmation of when the appointment was going to come. We weren't getting ghosted by the sales guy who gave us his number, but a little bit, you know what I mean? Like one day kind of ghosted and like kind of confusing, like whatever. She wasn't satisfied with his answers on stuff. And then it came to the phones. Like we have to get our phones this week. We started this process. This is where I started. And first we couldn't find the phones we wanted. So it was a little bit of pain in the ass. And then this and that. So we just decided that's fine. We'll just get the new model, paid some more money for it. Stick with iPhone and whatever. And then they wanted to charge her another like installation fee or another port. Like it was going to cost us like over like $250. And she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like this is insane." First of all, I have no idea what this TV thing is going to. This is all starting to cost us more money than we thought we were going to save. Like it's not worth it. I still haven't even been able to change my bell yet because you guys haven't even told me when the TV's coming and blah blah blah. And so she was really frustrated. She's on the phone yesterday, just fucking like over. Like I want to just cancel everything. I go, if we're not, we could cancel all the payments. Like let's just do it. We haven't canceled any bell. Fucking tell them we don't want to. Or you can just call customer service and tell them this. Like forget the sales guy. Let's just get. I'm not even saying he's bad, but if you're frustrated with this process, call somebody else.
Yeah.
And so she did. And then right away they knocked off like she got rid of whatever the new installation fee was. She straightened everything out with her, kind of. You know, she told her like. So we left that conversation better. You know what I mean? Like
That's
like
good.
the cable guy's coming. Like not the cable. See, that's how old I am. The TV guy's coming today, and we have to give him like it's a 1 year payment of like 300 some odd bucks.
What the fuck?
And that's it. That's we're going to get our boxes. We rent the boxes because we want PVR boxes.
Yeah, the PVR. I know for Bell because I was just looking at it. It's like it's the same price, like $299 for a one-time payment. That's what it was, right?
For the Telus or the Bell?
For Telus.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Okay.
Three, maybe it might be 325. Close.
Yeah, something
three
like
something,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're coming, and then so like I said, we're still not cable cut yet, so we are paying lots of money a month for all of our channels. So our nervousness is coming like, oh, something can't be as good. We're going to lose some channels that we're used to.
Probably not. Are you guys like? Is it going to work out for you guys being cheaper after you're paying both? Wait, when does your payments for Telus start? Have you started paying anything to Telus?
Just the security, which is like 30 odd bucks a month.
So is it going to work out to actually be cheaper?
So we were worried that it wasn't. Like I said, she called customer service and got the numbers playing back to her.
Yeah.
Like what it's going to be. Right? Because we kept getting these other more installation fees and more bills and stuff. And we were like, this isn't cheaper yet.
Yeah.
And I still haven't been able to cut my other one yet because you still haven't given me a fucking appointment yet and all these other things. And it's maybe because they're a third party and what I don't know. So it's just been not as straightforward as we want it to be. It just made me want to not try this in the first place. Like she's doing all the work. And I said, yeah, I wish for you didn't try this all in the first place. So she gets off the phone with a customer service and she feels way better. She realizes it's going to work out. You know what I mean? Like it is, we figured out we're just going to get the phones we want. We got them online. We just need to get them before like the 10th or something when our Bell one runs out, when we have to give them back.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of worried we wouldn't get the ones we wanted before then. We couldn't just go. She went to a Telus store and they didn't. That's what she found out. Like, yeah, there's no 14s for sure because we're getting ready for the 16s and all these 15s. And so
Which is weird because that's like 5 months out.
It proves what you say, like your aftermarket. Like that's where the whatever, not black market, but the you know what I mean, like the secondary market is really thriving. Like my trepidation of like selling my phone privately and all that shit. Like no, that's where a lot of people still get their phones.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like it's not that like you looked on the phone last time. So, but whatever, just scared to fucking change or just hating everything not working out the way you want it to. You know what I mean? Like just loving the lane that I carve out for myself and fucking just like stay into it. And so yeah, so like I said, so all that's kind of working out. So it should work out. Like with other these installation fees and all that, we won't know for a couple months. And so like all this talk is fucking done, and we just get our regular fucking scheduled bills.
Yeah,
right. Like she loves having the security in the house for some reason. Just having that extra thing makes her feel safer for when she's being alone.
Yeah,
like not even anything that her dad could have ever done. Or the dog who's fucking going to lick you to death when he fucking comes in. No, he's vicious. Sorry, everybody.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so, but when I'm
you have a tequila cart, right?
That's it's empty. It's fucking very low rated tequila
okay.
cart. I'm fucking been squeezing it dry. So yeah, so she just likes it when she's at home alone. You know what I mean? Like we're just used to being she's used to being alone more now than ever. And so
especially when you go to afternoons. I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Afternoon. So I'll play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, please do.
Would most of your, I guess the economical issues that you were trying to solve wouldn't, not really solve, but like change, wouldn't really change it. But how much of this would have been solved if you would have just said, "Hey, Bell, oh, I need faster internet," and they say, "Okay, well then this and whatever." "Oh, hey, Bell, could you just install a security into our house?" And then, "Hey, this and whatever." Will all this change over, like getting new phones and getting? You said Tammy's getting the 15.
No, we're both getting the same phone.
You're both getting the same, so your prices are still
Yeah,
more.
so now we're paying like $40 a month for our
So
phones.
does it average out to actually being less at the end after installation fees and stuff? How much of this could have been solved if you just called Bell and said, "Okay, I need my internet's been slow for this long, and you guys aren't providing me," because that's what Selena does almost every couple years, and they give us a discount, and then she'll go, "Well, the phones were on a corporate plan and shit, so that doesn't matter." But like, how much of this? Let me just get to my question. How much of this would have been solved if you would have just managed it through your current providers without marginally?
I would think my influence on you has created this monster that can't just get his point out right away. So I apologize, everybody. You're right. I don't know. Like we were so just fed up with the idea of Bell.
Yeah.
Right. Like I get frustrated and don't come up with a good solution. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a more calm demeanor of a solution. The phone bill is going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
I like, again, like it's not a matter of loyalty. I have zero loyalty to Bell. Like, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like I'm actually more frustrated with them. I'm not trying
Absolutely.
to teach Bell a lesson. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like whatever it is. The idea of an upstart, I don't think we're losing anything technically. Like I think we're gaining because they're new and in the market new. Like, so I believe that we can still get more of a discount from them initially, right? Like for this whole startup thing.
Yeah.
Like I think our biggest saving is going to come from the TV.
Okay.
Right? Like the phones are, like we said, the phones are exactly the same right now.
Yeah. The
We're
internet?
actually probably losing money in a way that we've already paid so much for these phones now. You know what I mean? Like I've already like paid however many months.
Yeah.
We're about to like have the buyback phone in December, right? Like so we've already gone through our 2-year contract that we're now just starting again. In my mind, that's kind of a wash. You know what I mean? Like that's just like leasing a car, the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Other than buying the phone and making a few $100, which you know, rightly so. And again, I'm running
So
around
wait,
the point.
you don't have to give that phone back till December?
No, now I do. I would have. If we never left Bell, this phone would have been almost paid for by December.
But you have to give it back.
Or not almost paid for. It
On
would have
the
been less than
10th.
$750. I would have been able to buy it back for like $500, or just switch over for a new phone right away.
But you have to do it by the 10th, you said.
Now
Something
I
like
do
that.
because we canceled. We already canceled our cell. I'm not on Bell's cell
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we canceled them, and now so I owe them my phone or $750.
Yeah.
And I have the 10th to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we just started the process of getting our new TELUS phones. So this is us discarding Bell so our Bell cell relationship is already off.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing. So that's one for one. That we're not saving much money there,
No.
right? Cell phone service is kind of what it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? We're getting
We're
the same kind of
screwed.
phone.
We're in Canada, so.
So I'm just trying to say so no matter what, I don't think we could have got Bell to change our cell phone.
No, there's no way.
So we're one for one there. So I don't care that I'm not on Bell in my cell service.
Yes.
So far, TELUS has been okay.
Yep.
I think once it cut off, but that was like the first couple of days. And Tammy was like saying the same thing. Fuck, what's up with this?
I think you guys are going to have some growing pains because they're early in cell phones. They're not early over here.
Yeah, so this
They're
is where,
fine.
yeah, I'm not worried
But
about the growing pains
The
of
other
cell phones.
stuff, they're a little early in this market. So I'm interested to see how it works. I mean, I could literally ask my cousin how it's going.
Yeah,
but
we could ask her.
this is better.
If we, this is better. So this is what to again beating around the bush for the fucking making the topics last way longer than I should. These so the internet came and went, and it's fine. Like it's hard to say if it's any faster or not. Like we have a Bell, our Bell modem is going. All of our other devices have been taken off of the Bell internet.
Yeah.
You're the one who enlightened me that Bell 5 TV is not like Bell Internet. They're two separate entities.
Yeah.
I was confusing my slow internet with when my TV got slow.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm sure there can't be not a tie in there. It's confusing to me, but that's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
And so right now, the only thing running off our Bell Internet is the Bell 5 in my mind. Right. All our smart TVs have been changed over, and I find it slightly better, if anything. Like it's not it's not like holy shit. this movie's faster. You know what I mean? Like nothing. It's like I find it better than it was before. Like I told you at work, I think if we would try to load the Disney app on the smart TV downstairs, it would cycle through almost like 3 or 4 times before it actually and I attributed that to bad internet.
Yeah.
It could be the TV or not. I don't know.
So I have lots of comments on that, but I'll try and keep it short. Internet is a lot more complicated and I usually refrain myself from getting into these conversations because I really hate explaining like internet and Wi-Fi, but I can explain it quickly. It's like it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. So it's like you can have the fastest internet in your house, but if none of your devices can take those speeds, nothing will work. That's the gist of it, right?
Okay.
So like when they say all this stuff, like when you go to Telus or Bell and they say Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, if none of your devices have Wi-Fi, like I know for a fact no iPhones have Wi-Fi 6E. No iPhones. So it's like none of you guys are going to get Wi-Fi 6E speeds on your phones, and even less TVs have it. Even less, like you would have to have like my computer has Wi-Fi 6E, and that's like what, $4,000 I spent on that thing, and it's fairly high. Now this part is getting long in the tooth, but it's fairly high end. My phone has Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 7 actually at this point, and so it's like people don't care.
No, I do.
They don't notice. Like when you get like 1,000 speeds, you can't really get on Wi-Fi if you don't have Wi-Fi 6E or 7. You will never get that on your phone. You'll never get it on a TV. The only way you'll get it is if it's plugged in with Ethernet directly.
So I'm trying to dumb down your situation. Your
Please, please.
I'm so. This is what I'm here for. So I'm so internet fucking or Wi-Fi dumb. Like I wish I was like what you just said is very impressive to me because. But to dumb down my TV, this is why I say the Disney app reloads. I think maybe because of the TV, not because of the internet.
Yes, probably.
Right? Like I know it's both ways, but the first time I tried to use it on the Telus, it never reloaded.
But you guys did have bad internet. That's why it makes this You guys said you had 25.
Bell could have made it better.
That's
horrible. What I'm saying. You're right.
That's
I think you're right.
Unacceptable.
Yesterday afternoon, when you walked by, remember when we argued about your fucking channels? We weren't arguing.
I don't remember.
You fucking were dragging those channels to your buddy's fucking area.
Yeah.
And you were all huffy puffy. Well, you were just acting huffy puffy. But Tammy was in my ear. Yeah. Remember, you were trying to talk to me like all week.
You were telling me shut up with your eyes, but I wasn't having it.
And so I was like, so Tammy got to hear that whole exchange, and she got off and she was like, "Whoa, what's fucking wrong with Grumpy over there?" And then that's actually while she's talking to me, and so that was like the shit got diffused a little bit there. But we were in the middle of a whole hour conversation about regretting any of this, like right about to cancel everything and go to Bell.
Oh, that was that conversation.
Right? Yeah, like we were in the no.
My bad.
That was before that.
Well, my bad.
It was like the aftermath is by then, I think she had already talked to the customer service.
Okay, all right. I don't feel that bad then.
Like you ever did. So yes, that thought crossed. We thought we were suckers. Like it took everything for me to put a fucking no solicitor sign on my door yesterday afternoon after this whole thing. Like, don't answer the fucking door ever.
Yeah.
Right. It's like because it's not worth it. More bullshit salesman. No disrespect to this guy. Like he didn't. But we felt overpromised. We felt harder to get everything done. Yes, the internet. So right away, even if it's faster, it's not like it's blowing us away.
Yeah.
Like this Disney app. I was just trying to fucking give an example of where I can see it. I haven't, because of the playoffs and shit, like I haven't played my PlayStation for like a few weeks. So I haven't even, like, that's never been that slow to me. There was a glitch every now and then. It would say like my game didn't save for some reason. So there was something in the cloud. I attributed that
to
PlayStation more than an internet thing, or the PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like, but it's a brand new PlayStation. So I don't understand like where the problem could be because of that.
Back end stuff.
What's that?
Back end stuff.
Yeah, so it wasn't even that inconvenient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, my game was saved no matter what.
Minor shit.
And so I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know where the. I think in the long run we would have been better off just calling Bell and telling them we were having a serious conversation about this Telus thing. Right?
Oh, if you did that, they would have gave you the world. But I don't think in the long run you guys are going to be at a loss anyways. I think it's just going to be.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think by the end of in a couple of months,
yeah,
like I said earlier, we'll feel the full benefit of it.
I have some concerns with Telus that's not phones over here because I don't know. You know how things are when like you're like. I guess
new
it doesn't
kid on the block.
Yeah, like you're the new kid on the block. You're piggybacking off other people's networks, so they didn't build a network over here. So you're basically getting Cogeco, which is basically getting Rogers, which is not bad service, right? You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. I haven't been on Rogers in years.
Yeah.
But like, I can't imagine it's bad service in 2024. So I think it's like interchangeable nowadays.
So we were, like I said, really close. And then we got everything kind of settled. And then so like in a great conversation yesterday, I had to decide for the phones. And this is where it came to the rubber. And like I was like, okay, fuck, I can get the folds.
Which is my next question.
It's going to be half price compared to my the one I have now.
Yeah.
And then so I balked at it. I said, you know what? I don't want to. I don't, you know what I mean? Like as much as I talked about wanting it, I don't. And so I'm just going to get another regular
I think
iPhone.
this would have been the perfect opportunity to do it. It's half price now. The next fold's about to be announced, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it would have been a great opportunity to do it. Now, I've decided this year I'm getting a fold phone.
That's hilarious.
Yes, I've decided this year.
You're
I decided
hilarious.
this.
Did you play with Brenton's?
No, I haven't even seen him since. But I decided this last year in like December. I was hearing rumors of the Pixel Fold.
I fucking regret it
the
already.
Pixel Fold, the next generation coming. So I told myself last year I was going to give it thought and get a fold phone. And so now that I hear the rumors, I've decided that I was going to get one. I was really trying to keep it on the hush, and I was just going to get it and then show you, like what you did to me. Remember?
Yeah, I
So
know.
I was
I
trying
didn't
to
show
do
you.
that.
You fucking called it out.
And then Brenton called me like I think like
bro.
a month ago, and he's like, "So what do you think about the fold?" I said, "Which one?" And he was talking about the difference, and I was like, "Okay, well, honestly, they're not bad. They're pretty far along in the generations where like a lot of their issues are gone. So if you can deal with like the minor, they have like a really minor fold in the screen now that people say they don't really notice after use.
Yeah.
So I said, if you can deal with that, because he told me like you, I think you said it
Yeah,
too,
I saw the seam.
that he couldn't stand it. So I said, like he really was like, fuck that, I don't want to see no fold in my phone, blah 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 blah. So I said, you should just because his phone was dead, he cracked it or something. So he's like, so what should I do? I said, just get the fold, try it out, like whatever. It's an easy resell, right? And by the time the next fold come out, you could trade it back, and Samsung has a great trading program. So you could either trade it and get the new one, or trade it and get another Samsung. He always stays on Samsung phones. And so you could do that. Like you have options at this point. It's kind of a good time. So he did that. And well, he didn't tell me he was going to do it. He said, yeah, he said, I think I'll do it. I'll go talk to them. And then like, I talked to him like last week, and he's like, oh yeah, so I got the fold a couple of weeks ago and I love it. And he just like loves it so much and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay. So that kind of reaffirms me into getting the fold. If you can, Brenton's very stubborn. So if you can get him to change from number one, having a Samsung phone, to B, number two, having a folding, they're on the 6, so it's not that new, but you know, it's like,
yeah, but is he too stubborn that he's not going to admit that if he made a bad decision?
There's also that too. So I don't know. I don't know.
I wish if we didn't have to. I don't even know that you're making me regret my decision.
I think you should have tried it.
I think I should have too. I even thinking my iCloud storage part isn't. It was just an excuse.
You have a Gmail.
It was just a never mind. Yeah, I do. It was just never, which I hardly use.
But you have Gmail storage. You could have transferred all your photos.
I could have done
over
many
there.
things.
A lot of stuff. But yeah,
you know what I
get
before
it.
I forget about this? So part of me is going to ask her if I can get out of this now. I doubt it because we committed yesterday.
Yeah.
But if we had this, if I had to commit today, I almost wish I should use you for your your knowledge of this shit fucking more than I do. I probably would have used the folds, right? Like just seen. I just didn't want to. I was already regretting. Okay, so I don't know part of this because I've already tried to figure out this fucking work shit. But I was already regretting the TELUS decision.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to regret this fold decision.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was in a regret fucking loophole where I just didn't want to fucking change more shit.
And it's not like you like change.
That's another thing. I'm not going to really regret not having the iPhone.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's
exactly.
just the same, but it's not a new adventure.
Yeah.
You're right. It would have been a good time.
Like this podcast.
Having this check. See, yeah, you're right. But not every time I fucking make that decision, I think is going to be great. Like I'm going to move right off of this to move to the work shit because last week it came right to the end. Deciding on if I want to commit to being a lead hand or not, or make leadership aspirations at the company, I think I've mulled over more than most decisions. Way more than the podcast.
Yeah.
Like when you fucking
That was easier than I thought.
the podcast part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you probably got called more. It's one of the few times you get called on your stupid fucking attitude. I don't know how, like, so that I definitely not overthought that. I thought that over a few days before I said yes. Even if I said yes initially, before I made the full commitment, there was a decision there.
Yeah.
Like buying a house, buying a car, buying a phone. I probably make less decisions changing my phones before this time. You know what I mean? Like, so, but the work thing, it's because I'm using the dependable trucks as an example.
Yeah.
I even fucking stepped my whole thing. Like the whole conversation got overstepped when I said I put the fire truck out on Twitter. Like I was proud of fucking building it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything about that was good, but it had all the things that I was missing before. I have not missed being a leader. Like those are things I might not know that I might like. Or
So I know what you're gonna say.
you do. And so I'll keep you waiting. So I see all that. So I really mulled it over. I'm going to say no at the time.
What? I don't know what you're gonna say. I thought you were gonna say yes.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, no. I know when I told you at work that I think I know what you're gonna say, I thought you were gonna say no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You knew
But
that.
when you said I don't know what I'm gonna miss, I was like, did he change his mind?
I don't know how much I'm hoping in a way that this might be an opportunity that could be there later. You know what I mean? Like
Probably.
like it's not like something I have to decide right at this minute.
Yeah.
Building the truck almost reaffirms that this is actually what I'm meant to do. It's a pivot in my personality to become a leader. I'm not saying being a reluctant leader is the best type of leader. You know what I mean? Like I think without that reluctance, you know what I mean? Like you're too eager. You know what I mean? Like the best politician seems to be one that just are doing it for the people, not for the power.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't have this status problem. You know what I mean? Like the money is a harder thing too, man. Like they tease you with money.
Yeah.
I've once left Wilcox for more money, simple job, and regretted it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have more autonomy. I didn't get to do what I'm actually doing with this fire truck. This is almost back, you know what I mean? This is almost me back in 1990, just fucking all by myself, old school. There's a lot of new school shit going on, but like nobody talks to me except for you for the whole fucking process of this.
Hey, don't diminish K.
No, I mean, but boss wise,
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like nobody cares. Like I talked to Ryan a bit this week about like, cause he came by and he was like, fucking, yeah, I still haven't forgotten you. We're going to make a decision about your light duty, about your hip and all that stuff. I was like, my handsome doctor hasn't called back for my appointment yet. Like, I don't even really know like the timeline on this thing. And so he was teasing me a bit with this. Yeah, no, I got some older uncles that have had this problem. And so he said shit like that, right? Like
Yeah, it's funny. He said to me, he's like, I see these guys here and, guys like that are our age just don't. I said, our age?
Yeah, give it to him. Every fucking please. Yes,
age.
thank you. Stand up for your old buddy here because he fucking gives it to me every time. And so we're joking. And so how did I fucking mention it? Oh, yeah, it was with like the light duty stuff. And in a way, I was bringing up no leadership talk and all that kind of stuff. I just said, which I've said to him before, like, I'm really glad I got over, like, not wanting to do these. It's the best decision I've made in a while. And with the light duty thing, I said, I'm hoping I come back in better shape than I am right now. I said, almost everybody I talk to, like, they're better than they were before. Mm-hmm. There might be a time period, and that's not, but I'm hoping that I can come back and I don't want to stop doing these type of thing. And he, after like trying to tease me and all that, he was like, yeah, I'm happy that you made that decision. You know what I mean? Like he's like looking at me in the eye saying like, no, I'm happier than you are because I needed somebody to do this. Mm-hmm. Right. So it reaffirms like it's a good decision to have in the standing that I have. And so all that I get with this leadership decision, like, so that ties in. So that was a good decision. Yeah. So I don't want to look at you and say, oh, fuck, I shouldn't do this. But the people part, Bri, I even made a list of pros and cons.
Can we go through it?
Well, we can, but I mean, like this.
But I do want to say, you say you could have, for example, got the fold, and every person I know who's got the fold, even though we talked about it a couple years ago, that I was reluctant to get a folding phone, right?
Yeah. Everybody
who's had it has said that they would never go back. Even I'm talking like YouTube reviewers, like a whole bunch of people. Everyone who's used it for extended period of time has never gone back. What if that was the same situation with this? What if you stepped into the leadership role and you said, man, I would never go back? Because even though like some weeks and some days, it's very rough. I can't lie. It really, I try to not like put it on everybody else, and people don't know a lot of the shit. You know most of the shit I go through, and I don't really try to tell you everything.
I know.
But I don't think I would go back personally. But we're different people, but yes.
Yeah, like you that's where your fucking bullshit and realism is like in the middle of a fucking like hit the fucking like apex to get like you're saying it for your benefit, because you would like to have somebody as a lead hand that you can trust. Like, you're not just manipulating me like you're fucking Anthony on Big Brother. You're fucking, you're wanting this for me. You know what I mean? You recognize this from me. You recognize that I can do this part.
You can.
Getting out of my way. So I appreciate that. Like, talking to you now does make me regret the fold. Only in a way that, like not every time stepping out of my comfort zone. The iPhone is my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everything else was my comfort zone, but I was also frustrated. It wasn't like I was leaving an ideal building situation. Like, I was coming into a fucking like I was a Gordon.
Were you frustrated with the trucks that you were building?
And it was more like 40% of the time. Not major, not always.
But you've been doing this job for how many years? Those trucks for how many years? Maybe it was just you were getting tired of it.
In a way, it was the opposite. There was so much quick change. Like, they still getting used to that kind of T. This is, nobody knows, the T floor. Like, the way they designed the trucks was always changing. So you couldn't trust. You know what I mean? Like, it was always like, it was a shitty part of the job. You kind of had to look over your shoulder. Like, what did they change in the book?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did I just fucking miss that I'm just assuming that is the way they build things now. So, but like, whatever, that wasn't a major fucking decision. Like, it was not. But the problem here when it comes in is like, yes, I can regret in this minute that I should have got the fold yesterday. Like, my life is always, I'm never going to not do that. I wish I didn't bet the fucking Bucks to cover fucking 8.5 points yesterday.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's always there. The problem when it comes to this, and yes, I'm more of a people person than I can know. I already know what my ultimate solution here is. And it's not really to be a leader. Like, I can do that. Like, I want to do that, but so much so on my own terms. I've made it to this point by doing shit on my own terms.
But isn't that a problem?
It's a regret it's a regret that I'm always in that comfort zone. But no, I'm pretty happy with where I am.
Well, then that's what matters.
Like, but it's not like part of this is the growth that I need to have.
But do you need to have it? If you're happy,
yes, you're right. No, I don't think that's why I'm going to say no at this time, because I don't need to have it.
Yeah,
I part of my so a lot of the pros was just like being a boss, because you know what I mean. Like, take some of that stature that people kind of want. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, if you were a boss of Facebook, you wouldn't fucking regret it. If you're a boss of fucking like a lot of successful companies, Rogers, Coca-Cola, TELUS, you know what I mean? Like, you would have it. I don't know what your cousin's headaches are at being a fucking bigwig at TELUS in Ontario for however long she has. But when TELUS is fucking 10 times bigger than they are now, she's going to be 10 times more important than she is now. Yeah. So there's no point running away from that kind of fucking responsibility, whatever those headaches are. Less physical. I can't admit, I'm almost 54, so I can't do what the 24-year-old version of me could do, even if he was fatter and lazier. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of harder, I have to cut corners on like doing physical fucking shit, either with cranes or helping people, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. So that's never going to get easier. Like I said, being the opportunity of being a higher up in a successful company, the stats, and a little bit more money. I mean, those are shit I wrote down as pros. I mean, there might be others that I didn't express. The cons, except there have to have dealing with people, right? Like, that's hard for me to really do.
But you like people, Jay.
Yes, I am better at it. You'll realize when my ultimate solution is going to, or what my desire is for this. I could see I don't know if this is a pro or a con. I want to do this, but under my terms, and not how these things work. Yeah. Whenever I say to you, okay, I would do this, I could see myself being a hybrid and helping a night shift get the dependable going. And it's like, that's a decent idea, but you don't get to come in here with your ideas. I don't know how you want leaders and not listen to their ideas, because I don't think it's a bad idea.
No.
And so, but this is why, again, so I would do it under my own terms, but I have to realize that's not how this works.
Yeah.
So people I can deal with, but at this moment, I can only deal with it on my own terms. Because what I'm saying is, another con is not getting to build with my hands. Yeah. Like, I love Lego, but part of it was because I get to fucking, I still like building shit, but I don't want to come home and build shit. Right. So I like building the fire trucks reinvigorated me to fucking like read blueprints and build shit again.
I think you would get over that part.
Of course I would. But I would Jones for it, just like Medeiros Joneses for being on the floor.
I don't think you would Jones for it. And I don't think Medeiros Jones for it as much as he does, as much as he wants to. And I can tell you from experience, because I have the option of doing something. And last night I put a body up. I put 2 bodies up, right? Because I chose to do it, because in that moment I was like, you know what? I want to do this, and I have the option to do it. So anytime I need to get the fix as a leader, you can just do it. And anytime you don't, you can just be like, I'm not doing it, and nobody's going to tell you anything.
I respect that's perfect. Yes, that is a really correct statement. Like I respect that statement and how true it is. Right?
Mhm.
Like I realize that. Like I realize there's a way to get that fix in.
Yeah.
I realize there's a way for me to get out of my fucking not thinking I'm a people person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I get that. Like I get how I could easily fucking smooge with all the fucking people that you have. I wouldn't have as many fucking shadows as you do, but I would fucking, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a fucking cult leader like you want to be. And so, but anyway, you're right. I'm just telling you what's in my cons list.
Yep.
Right?
And I'm gonna attack the ones I hate.
I would have to have a 5-day work week.
On day shift, yeah, you would.
I would have to start at 6.
Yeah, you would. I got nothing for that one.
You know who didn't have any? You know who also didn't have anything when I said that?
Who?
My wife. She doesn't want me to start have that work start at 6. She doesn't want me to have to work on Fridays.
I got nothing for that one.
Right? So I can't hybrid my way into that.
No.
Right? Like so, and then it takes. Sometimes, and you can tell me I'm wrong there. From what I've seen from the leaders that I know of, maybe not you because I think I see the appreciation that they have for you. Is they don't have an appreciation for the hard work you actually do. You tell me there's a trouble of like, I don't know. You bounce back and forth to saying how great the night shift is. They tell you how great you're doing and how, I don't know, if they put too much pressure on you that you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
All right. And so I would get so frustrated if somebody told me, somebody tells me now you're taking too long to build that truck. I tell them like, listen, I might have talked to Brian. Like, sorry, I'm getting hammered over here, people. I'm sorry, I might have talked to Brian too much yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm not trying my best. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going out for cigarettes. I'm not doing anything else. Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure. Like I'd have to admit whatever I could be faster but I'm physically. You can see me. Put the camera on and let's go through my day.
Yeah.
And I can. You know what I mean? Like defend myself.
Yeah.
You have to just sit there and take it when they're just frustrated that the system isn't working as good.
Yeah.
And so you can argue that one by just saying, yeah, you just sit there and take it every now and then. You got it. That's what people got to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so those were like basically the gist of my pros and cons.
Mm-hmm. Those, to be honest, those don't seem like they outweigh one another.
Yeah. So my comfort zone then comes into play. Like,
and that was the deciding factor.
Yes. No, the 5
on top of it.
No, the 5 days and the 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah, that one's brutal. But yeah,
like the 5 days and the 6 o'clock. Like again, if everybody gets to listen to this and hopefully it's way into the future, like I really don't need the Fridays anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like my roommate has left.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That whole situation is gone. But I don't want to bring it up in a way because just leave it all the same old. Like I'm kind of lying to them about like.
So what do you do if they bring it up and say?
Yeah, I have to. I will think on my feet. I have Ron as an example. Is that this is doable.
It is, but
it's not ideal for them.
Situation.
It's not ideal for them. I get it. I actually need it more for my physical well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I don't know if my handsome doctor could write me a note that says 4 days is better than 5 for this guy. But then the thing where it gets looked is, his 4 days are like 12 hours.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Like, I know it's hard. Like, it wouldn't stand weight. I'm still doing the physical thing.
Yeah.
So because I'm still producing what they need from me in those 4 days, I can get away with it. In a leadership role, like you said, when you told me that, I was like, yeah. So in my mind, if I could have a meeting with them and say, like, if you want to groom me as a fucking leader, these are my this is how I would go about starting. And it would be that maybe stay an hour or two later, an hour or two start later, and work with somebody that I would want to, like Kay. And once I get a few more months, maybe even a leadership course under my belt, and a few more months of building these fucking dependables, then take somebody under my wing and get the night shift going on dependables. Mm-hmm. Right? Take my little fucking area, put a whole other crane in my little area. Like, I don't know about the new building and all this shit, so I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, if this is doable.
But this is what I said to you this week. That's limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself to dependable. What happens when dependable goes away? What happens if we don't have that contract anymore?
But listen,
as a leader, you would be leading everything and everybody. And I said, you already have enough experience where everything else is second nature. All those other truck bodies are basically second nature, unless they're a one-off, which still has its second nature. Is that a word?
No, you're right. I'm not to cut you off, but that's one of the cons when I realized, like, oh shit, that's just not what they need a leader for. No. It would be part of it. You know what I mean? Like, it would be a thing that like, so I agree right away. I would like, I know that that's not an argument that I would have to say. Like, I admit that that's a problem, right? Like, and so then I go, and then even my whole staying later and being a hybrid between the night and the day isn't like, it's a non-starter.
I mean, it works for me.
But so listen, this is where I could get into you. Like, if there's a way that I could be in one of these meetings and express myself, I realize that if I'm not fully in, you don't want to mention my name.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you. I don't want to. I don't care that much. But other than trying to make a good decision with like all the pros that I have of this, was giving me like the most thought for it. Like the ultimate decision was when I realized like I'd have to fucking start at 6 and I'd have to fucking do it, and I'd be setting everybody up. Like letting go of the physical part, letting go of the people part is easier than the 5-day 6 o'clock start.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love that part of my life. Right? Like I've lucked into it in some way, but because of my relationship with the company, I've gotten away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like just like Ron's gotten away with everything that he's gotten away with.
Okay, I asked you another question.
Sure.
You like Ryan.
I really do like Ryan.
You do know, and we've had some conversations about this. He really sits on moving forward. He really sits on getting rid of legacy
Attitudes,
right?
I'm just. Is that what you were? I think
That's
you were getting
exactly what I was trying to say. I wasn't going to use the attitude word, but that makes more sense to what I'm trying to say. We had a meeting where Marcel had a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Marcel had sent an email saying that we need to put the center doors on the body, right? The barn doors. We need to put those on the body because IF is having issues with foreman locks, which is a lock that goes into the door, and you have to put the doors on so that it lines up, right? Kind of. And we've gotten away from that recently, right? And Ryan is for that idea of us not putting doors out because he really doesn't want us doing anything with screws, nuts, and bolts at all.
I understand. This is going to be hard to describe to people, but I realized that the moving on from that situation.
Yeah, so he sent that email, and then I was talking to Booby. He said, well, Marcel told me to put doors on. I said, don't put doors on. We're not putting doors on. We're not going back to that. Booby's like, okay, whatever. So we haven't done that. We did finish 2 bodies earlier this week or last week, whatever it was. And we didn't put one of the bodies, we put the doors on and we took it off. The other bodies we took from the completely finished bodies. We took the measurements and adjusted them because they were having problems with it. And we didn't put the doors on, but we used the measurements, right? And I cross-referenced with the 3D drawing that it was correct. So I did all my due diligence. I said, okay, good. That's what we're doing. Booby, make a drawing, write it in your hand. So when these guys do it,
bro.
That's what you guys do. He said, okay. The next day I got an email from Marcel saying, as per our conversation, I said that we could put the doors on because they're having problems in IF and blah, blah, blah. And I had a couple emails that morning that really pissed me off. So I was not responding to anything. So I was just done. I was just done with it. So that day we had a production meeting and I went to I was already hot. Like I was already like in my mood. So I go in there and I sit down and we're doing through the regular shit. And at the end, Ryan always goes, does anybody have anything to say or any concerns? And Marcel goes, yes. The doors haven't been being put on. And so right now, because day shift is kind of lacking in personnel, this is for the audience, they haven't been working on the same bodies that the night shift has been working on. It's been maybe one person and new guys who don't really do much, right? So they haven't been working on it. So I feel like it's anything said about anything that we've completed is attack on our shift. That's how I feel, and right or wrong. And so he said, the doors haven't been being put on these bodies. He doesn't really, Marcel's not a person to call out, especially in emails, like specific things like that, but he'll say it in other ways. And they haven't been put in bodies. And IF has been having issues with it, and so we need to put the doors on. And I was waiting for it. I said, there's no way I'm putting doors on bodies anymore. I said, that's not happening. If you want to do that, that's good for you, but there's no way I'm doing it. And Marcel's like, no, they have problems. I told him what I just told you. We cross-referenced. I said, we did all this, we did all that, and we know we got the measurements right. There's no way that we should be doing this. This is a design issue. This is not a weld issue. So I'm not having any part of it because it doesn't make sense. It's a waste of time to put 15 minutes to put a door on when we can do a thing in 15 seconds with a measurement. And then Marcel, we were back and forth a little bit. And Ryan's like, you know what? we're not going back to old ways. We need to move forward. And this, I don't see why this is not a design issue. So I say all that to say this. Jay, moving forward is better than being caught in the old way of doing things.
Of course, you're right. I'm not trying to cut you off. You cut me off anytime you want.
No, go ahead.
That was a supervisor statement, what you just said. This is why you're in your position. It's nothing to do with politics. It's nothing to do with handing you something or other people not picking up the reins where they could have, like a Johnny or Tariq.
Yeah.
Like they never had your stuff. I don't have your stuff. Marcel kind of has some of your stuff. You know what I mean? He's there and he's doing the same thing in a way. And he's got Ali in the way. But you have fucking jumped this into your spot because of how you think of, or like what you just said. Like that's exactly how you think. You're not saying that because you know Ryan likes moving forward.
No.
You have the similarity of that thought. It's a design issue is exactly how it could be formed. I would never, it would take me forever to make that statement. It's a design issue, knowing that's what I wanted to say. I would have been saying these fucking retards don't know how to put it right. You want to say that?
I do, absolutely.
Okay, no, I get it. But
Absolutely.
your political part, everything about you puts it into this. You know Ryan is going to love this thought because it's what you have in common. You didn't write down, oh, this is how I got to talk to Ryan. It's just naturally. It's a part of being a good bullshit artist.
Well, I was mad.
And that's why. So I saw how mad you were. Tammy heard how mad you were. Like it's not a thing. I remember watching Marcel put these doors on, and not knowing all this interest stuff, but coming from a place you have zero idea. This is like what it's like to put a foreman's lock on a 1988 body that's made out of fiberglass,
Right?
That has no lasers, no cell phones, none of this shit. Like this is where we're all coming from, right? And so yeah, old ideas have gotten us here, but saying it's a design issue absolves you. You're a fucking welding supervisor. So no other welding supervisor has been able to make that statement to a boss that is going to hear it. To other people that are actually just witnesses to a fucking meeting for HR reasons that have now a good idea on record because before it was just a fucking bullshit session.
Yeah.
Right before it was just a thing. Our owner is caught in this way of like whatever, like allowing people like you and other bosses to make their company run, but he just runs bullshit sessions. Our quarterly meetings are just like, yeah, I want the people to know that. Like he has way more important meetings every now and then.
Yeah.
But he's just a rich kid, like grown up in a way like I like wants to say retard like you, right? But he knows that's not how real shit gets done. So this is why I'm saying like it's a design issue. Absolves everything. Of course we're not putting doors on. I never thought that we should keep putting doors on. But my idea when that change was going on, it was, and I'm not living in the change because I don't want to put the doors on either, but it's just like, you know how hard it's going to be to get this to work? And then it's just like, well, you know what? It's IF problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then we get into a part where we're putting too much problems on IF.
I agree, but part of, sorry, do you want?
No, yeah. So what I'm saying is, that's not the answer. The answer is to say, yes, now that's right. Like figure it out with measurements, figure it out with the computer, put it on design in a non-argument, like in a non-argumentative way and an undeniable way.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yeah, we got other things to worry about. Now this is a design issue.
Yeah.
So I agree with Ryan with saying that. Ryan appreciates me for just building these fire trucks. Again, we know, you and I, the audience knows that there's lots of potential there.
Yeah.
My knowledge, my fucking experience, my out of my wayness to improve in a people pleasing way of like, just like fucking the guy coming on night shift. He can talk to me. Not like fucking anybody would have said that 5 years ago without us thinking about work in this kind of way.
Yeah.
And this is where you are a legitimate supervisor. That's where you are a legitimate leader of men, where that comes across. Marcel can't even undeny that. Marcel's got more of me. He's like, well, the only way this really works is by us putting the door on.
Absolutely.
I've hated the fucking 3/8 hole. Nobody's going to care about this.
Oh, God.
Okay? Because I could put this door, but nobody cared. So once I realized that, like, you know what? They'll figure it out. And so they figured out, I don't want to put all that shit on Dave and Sammy, but you know what? They'll figure it out. The T-floor. You're never going to get a 54-inch fucking floor level.
Never.
But you know what? You figure it out.
Yeah.
Not my problem. It's a 50 fucking 4 1/4.
Yeah.
And everything else will work out. You know what? It works out. I hate the fucking sliding top fucking drawings. They show a 16th here, 16th there. It's all bullshit. No, you know what? They'll figure it out. It's a design problem.
Exactly.
I've never had to worry about it. But my buck so I would love to have this conversation with Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ryan thinks I'm stuck in not moving forward.
No, he doesn't.
Right? I'm not saying I'm placating to my bosses right now. Sunil and me, we'll be fucking amicable, like, or whatever. I'm butchering that word. We'll be friendly. We're friends, right? We'll always have that. He knows I'm not a whiner. I'll get the job done, but we're not favorites, right? But I'm not a problem. And for his position, as long as I'm not a problem, then I'm nothing.
He's like
I'm A-okay.
Yeah.
You're an A+++. I'm A-okay. You know what I mean? B+ at the fucking best. With Ryan, though, I think he recognizes, and it's not because I'm trying to, I'm not stuck in not moving forward. I don't want to overstep your position in the whole leadership search, right? Ever. Like, you've tried, when I've said like my stipulations, you're like, there's nobody else to talk to. Like, I am part of this decision. But it's frustrating for me to not talk like this to Ryan and express my frustrations.
he's not part of the decision either.
So that's the thing. Well, like, so, but he loves like how, so I don't know why you would do it without him. He's the one who's
honestly, he's busy. He has so much shit on his plate. Like, I've gone to his office and he's talked to me like, he's like,
I think it's a bad decision that he's not part of it.
He's told me like, he has so much on his plate as his job that like, there's just so much shit like he just can't get to. And people always say that he's what does Nicole always say? She always says he puts things off. I want to use the word that she used, but I can't.
Procrastination.
Think of it. Not even procrastinate. He's
he lets other people do work that he should do.
No, that's me. He's but I've been in his office for freaking 30 minutes and seen personally like 45 emails come in those times. Like, him just dealing with shit.
I can appreciate that.
You know what I mean? So like, and then he's in meetings, getting shit about like hours and like all this kind of stuff. Cause in terms of production, it stops with him, right? Anything that's happening on the floor, missed hours for the whole shop, it's him. That's who Dave Dick talks to. Not talking to us about hours and shit, right? So, and on top of that, this is an HR-driven thing. It's not a Ryan-driven thing. So this is under Mo's belt. But it's so early. Like, we just got another email. I was gonna show you this email. Was it yesterday? We didn't really talk.
So we didn't talk yet. But so I'm jumping the gun. When you went for that meeting yesterday with like that, I figured it was about this.
No, that was a production meeting.
Okay, because you were.
No, that was a social committee meeting.
Yeah, I can't tell. You have so many fucking meetings.
I know.
So I assumed because you were fucking. We had the exchange that Tammy heard, and then I was sanding some fucking welds, and I had a whole mask on, my fucking respirator, and all this shit. And then you came looking at me like, "Well, I want to talk now," and I was like standing, looking at you in my eyes, telling you to go fuck yourself. And then I just like you stood there for a minute, and I'm like, God, this guy. And then I took everything. He goes, I gotta go to a meeting. Hey, you fucked with me. Remember that? So I was like, God damn. So the people that I saw you have the meeting with, I go, oh, I think because there was no Ali, no Ryan, all this, no Marcel. I go, oh, I bet you this is one of the leadership things.
Oh no, that was social committee, but the leadership meeting I think is next week.
Yeah, you told me that. So this is why. So when you did that, I go, oh, he probably, when you said you thought you knew what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so he's just going to leave me out of this 100%.
At work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say no.
Yeah, so this is when I thought you had a meeting without us talking.
Oh.
That you had another one, and they just, I imagine that meeting that you had on Thursday said they were going, so who do you think? You were not going to include me because you didn't think I was going to do it.
Well, I wanted to be one of the first people to bring somebody up. I wanted to show that whoever I was bringing up was instantly recognizable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. And in my mind, I thought you're instantly recognized. Everybody, like everybody has their issues when it comes to leadership. Like, I have my issues. You know what I mean? So it's like, so do you. But there's nothing that you can't work through. Like, I could be more aggressive and assertive. The only thing that really helps me is that we're in a 2024 year where you can't really be overly aggressive. So it kind of helps me out in certain ways. But I'm not like that. You know what I mean? Because I'll freaking lose my shit if it gets to it. So, and you can't do that as in leadership. And I think those are things you could easily eventually work
Those
through.
weren't part of my like it was the people part.
I know, but then when you started mentioning the other part, because you never gave me this list, Jay, you blindsided me.
Well, I can't. I'm not. It's hard to fucking leave our whole fucking end of the week conversation fucking private.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't know it. Like what? That's what happens when you come to me and say, "What do you got to say?" It's like, should I say it now? Should I say it? Wait, like spend
Yeah.
the whole fucking Friday podcast telling the people about fucking my TV viewing habits.
True.
It can only happen every now and then.
True.
Like this is actually work related. So,
And this wasn't time crunched.
but I was like I said, like I was still dealing with it. Of course, I could talk. I would have told you then. Like when you had the meeting and I didn't get to tell you then. Like there was like whatever regret that I wouldn't just spill my guts. Like that is it's not a con of having the podcast. It's a adjustment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What do we talk about? What do we don't?
Yeah.
And so even TV shows, like that's fun. You know what I mean? Like it's a thread. You know what I mean? Or something like let's just keep that going. But I like talking about it like in this
Me
in
too.
this situation.
I do like it.
This is where I regret not being able to talk to Sneal or Ryan. I think of Ryan. It's sad to me that Ryan's not part of this process because he's so important to everything else that goes on.
Yeah.
Not because I've cultivated a relationship with him, but he sees this ready to move on and my value of having the past, you know what I mean? in
Yeah.
me.
But part of that, right, is as him as a leader, because Ryan is a really
As
good
a leader,
leader,
yeah.
right, is giving up some of those things. And then when the list comes to him and he sees names on it, he can be like, okay, this is a good idea. This
Yeah.
is a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like so the email that was sent, as I paraphrase it, it's like they're just outlining exactly, like it's so early. Like I wish I could stress that. It's
No, I
very
appreciate that.
early.
No, that's a good thing to say.
And they're like how they want to identify potential new positions. They want to identify potential people, and they want to put people through like training as a
love
leader
that.
over months.
I'm not even on 100% denial on that.
Yeah.
Like I like the long process, and let's just take Ryan out. Like this is a brand new thought to me, and realizing like, and even getting to take Sneal out of this. It's Mo. Mo is the key.
Yes.
Like Mo is what you've just kind of telling me is Mo and creating new positions.
so this is one of
No,
most
so this
things.
is actually like take heed, young fucking grasshopper. Like this is where I can fucking dive in because
Do you know Mo's younger than me?
of course I do. He looks it.
What the fuck?
Sorry, bro. He looks it. Like he's not the only one there that looks younger than
Are you serious,
Yeah,
Jay?
I'm sorry. It's getting to you.
Fuck
It
this.
might be 30. Yeah, you better start
You need to
drinking. Like,
freaking put sitting in aloe vera or something.
yeah, fuck. Well, you're still good. You know, you got that fucking. You at least you're
Fuck.
dark skinned.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to be a light skin.
You'll always say it doesn't crack. I heard it doesn't crack.
It
So
doesn't.
the fact that it's Mo's idea, and I think Mo appreciates a lot about me. I think he appreciates you know what I mean? Like I'm straightforward, and I can actually like bullshit in this new kind of way. You know what I mean? Like I can still be my old schoolness self and not be, you know what I mean, like a foot in the new and the old school. When I talk to people about my hip, you know what I mean, like totally respectable, you know what I mean, like brought up. We joke about football. It's because he's a football fan. Like I recognize him as not just some HR chooch.
Yeah.
I recognize the man behind the position.
Yeah.
Right? Even if he's young, I don't care. Like I'm
He's-
over that.
I like Mo.
Yeah, I kind of like Mo. And
A
this
lot
is
of
where
people don't for some reason.
no, it's the ultimate thing, Brian. Okay, I'm gonna try to get out of all the bullshit that.
But I
I've
want to say
started
something. If we get off of leadership,
No.
Okay, go ahead.
But go ahead, say something. I'm trying to.
No, I don't want you to get out of your thought.
You're
Go
gonna
ahead.
forget what you're gonna say when I
No,
say
I'm not.
this.
Go ahead.
One of the other key things, one is Mo, two is creating new positions. The gift that I never used that my parents gave me that I've never fucking used, one of the sense of humor that I do use, well, I try to, is they were both killer salesmen. My mom won ultimate awards for fucking Canada
Jay,
Post.
You could be a salesman. You know.
I know. You and I could be we would be the killer
Could you
sales
imagine?
team. No, so I have. These are positions that they need desperately.
Yeah.
So
Did you know
Albert-
that they contract out?
So Albert was my first foreman. Joe
Oh,
Medeiros
really?
was my first lead hand.
Mm.
They knew 1987 Jay Maris.
Mm-hmm.
They taught me almost everything I know. I've let Albert and Joe score so many goals on me in hockey,
Mm-hmm.
like that they look like superstars. I've had every conversation. I've drank with them till 3 a.m, like back for, you know what I mean? Like I left them. I've ignored that thing. Getting out of my ultimate way is trying to learn how to be a salesman for this company. Our bosses never not need salesmen.
Oh yeah,
It's
they literally contract out right now.
if I could learn, like if in a slow burn process, if I could still just actually keep to do my job, and like maybe take a couple of courses. I'm not best friends with Albert or Joe, but they respect my work. You know what I mean? They don't mind when I'm building one of their trucks. I mean, I know there's times when they want me to build their trucks. Like sales is actually what this job will never not need. You do have to be a people person to be sales, and that's where my people skills will have to would shine.
You have people.
Can you
skills.
imagine me and you just coming in as a team? You know what I mean? Like fucking in the future, like getting like
500 million.
This is what I'm saying, right? And your bot, like Dave. This is me stepping up. Like, I know this company so well that, you know what I mean? Like my experience would help me in sales. If there was a way for me to, and I'm not saying I would want to do this, but this is where this is where I could get lots of more money, where I could work till my 70s, where Albert and Joe, let's just take Albert. Albert is probably way more frustrated in this new age than you and I could ever imagine, right? Like you and I, you know what I mean? Like I'm not so, you know what I mean? Like stuck in it was better in the old days and all that. But Albert wouldn't have to worry about being politically correct with me, right? Like Albert knows me to the, like I said, a 17-year-old me. Like, can you imagine? And fucking he might have to get over himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like whatever he doesn't like about me, like I said, we're tight enough. But I think he would be willing to hand the reins of the sales department to somebody like me if I was wanting to take it.
Well, why don't you do that?
I don't know. That's where. So
And you do know the sales department is kind of big now.
Yeah, so I'm sure it is, but way bigger than I thought.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
4, 5, 6 salesmen just on our side.
So I don't know if that's something they need.
Salesmen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they do. I think it's a lot more leaning to the GSE side.
See, I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
But I'm just saying I'm pretty sure they do.
But okay, well, this is where. So I don't know anything about this. Like I don't know how this could work. But when I'm thinking about leadership and the things that I don't like about it, like I think my ultimate thing is that yes, I could be a good leader.
Yeah,
but could you be a better salesman than you could be a leader?
Never thought of that.
Me neither until I did. And so part of me would like to have a conversation with Mo. Like I don't want to put you under any kind of extra like thought or scrutiny or whatever. Yeah. But in a world where I can just say, Mo, can I have a meeting with you? Say, you know what, Brian was having a conversation with me and asking me about my leadership aspirations and what I think of the company and what, you know, my intentions.
Forget that. There is a head of sales who is, you know that Ashley's gone, right?
I don't even know who fucking Ashley is.
You know, she walks around with the freaking, well, she used to walk around with all the...
With the unfortunate girl? We're not talking about the unfortunate.
Yes, the unfortunate girl doing raffles and stuff.
Yeah, I remember. Okay.
So she's gone, and this guy, John Pease.
That you like.
Yes, he is in this meeting. He's in the leadership thing. He's head of sales for Wilcox right now. He was just hired.
What's Albert?
Albert is he's in sales, but he's not like the head of sales anymore.
Okay.
Like he used to be the top guy over there. Grant wasn't the top guy, but Albert used to be the top guy. Now just John Pease guy is the head of sales for Wilcox, right? And he oversees marketing, I guess. I don't know how he got into that. But to listen to him talk, because he's in the meeting and listening to him talking to me, and he's very knowledgeable. And he seemed like a nice guy. So, you know, I think that's the guy you should talk to. Not even Mo, develop a relationship with. This guy came from WestJet, being head of sales in WestJet. So they said, I remember I was talking to Sunil, I said, who is this guy? And he was telling me how this is like a top guy. Like they spent a lot of money to get him over, and his experience is pretty substantial.
You stopped. Yeah. So
sorry.
No. That seems even better than I have zero problem with what I just heard you say. When I was imagining this like high thought yesterday, I was like, because I think I realized it yesterday, maybe the day before, right? Because I've been mulling over this leadership thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I was, you know, it's weird. Like I'm sure it happens to you. Like every now and then, I just like my parents just thought it's Mother's Day coming up. You know what I mean? Like so, I think how we're tied to this leadership thing, and me in sales or whatever came. It's like I knew I got. I give teachers and sales a bad rep, not for the same reasons, but just like whatever. The telesalesman was rubbing me the wrong way. Like I don't blame the telesalesman; he's just hustling and get out of the way. But I've never wanted to be looked at like that. But I realized I could do it. It's easy. Like it's the easy thing that I could do. It's a gift that my parents gave me. It's why my mom was so successful at what she did.
So let me ask you: design, sales, leadership's basically out.
Well, no, I'm just so
I'm asking you, like, which
it's not basically out. None of them are basically out.
Which one would you lean more to? I know you just said sales, but like in those three directions that you can go. Because personally, honestly, I know you like building stuff, but I think we're in a pivotal moment where you can pick and work towards choosing a different way. Maybe that's just me being because you know how I am, like the 7-year itch type of guy. Me always trying
you see this. You can make this a pivotal point if you wanted to.
But isn't it?
But we're making it.
Yeah,
we're making it. But like I said, not wanting to overstep you and your position in these thoughts. It's a little. Can you recognize it's a little frustrating for me that I don't get to talk to Ryan or know that he's a part of this,
for sure.
or talk to Mo, or even know who this fucking John guy is? Because when I thought of it, I think of it in a way that Albert holds the legacy of the sales, right? That might not be the case anymore. But I have a massive relationship with Albert and Joe Medeiros,
which doesn't mean it doesn't hold weight.
Of course it doesn't. And my relationship with Mo and Ryan won't not hold weight.
Yeah.
Like what you've just told me is that if I let this John guys know that I have a bit of interest in this, which is brand fucking new, then he's going to take it for whatever it is. And if he's good as you say he is, he's going to ask these other people about this guy. So apparently this Jay Maris has been working here since 1988. And he left. Like, what happened when he left? Oh, it was nothing, or nobody remembers. And I've always known him. Or fucking Dave Dick can say, oh yeah, I remember him telling me about his pet raccoon in a car fucking trip we went to. And I have relationships. They know this. I'm dependable.
Yeah.
Like everything about it. He goes,
you're undependable.
And he has aspirations to not just build things.
Well, CJ, that's the thing, man.
I don't think it'll surprise him, and it won't surprise them.
They don't think you have aspirations.
No, that's fine.
No, it's not fine. It's not fine with me. I think that's annoying.
I appreciate your desire for me to have more aspirations than I do for myself, and I recognize that getting out of my way.
I think you have aspirations, you just won't get out of your way.
It's because I hate being frustrated. Like I recognize, or it's a comfort zone thing.
But you're always going to be frustrated at some point, whether you're
right.
building a body, building dependable, or designing something. Being in leadership, there's always frustrations will not be eliminated.
So if I take that into account and what the ultimate potential of my potential is, it's then in sales. Because leading people, I'm stuck with the people they give me.
Yeah.
Sales is the ultimate way that I either succeed or fail. And I have to take rejection. I fucking hate rejection. But that's something I have to get out of my way. Is
that easier to get over with than dealing with people that you are...
I don't know, right? Like, how do I know that now?
You don't.
Like, that's why it's a process. Like, I appreciate, again, that it's a slow burn thing. Like, I don't know how I go forward. You help immensely. You know what I mean? Like, you help in this conversation that we've just had and before and everything else of me getting out of my own way. Not just that, but like that's one of the things. But my frustration comes is like, now I need to have this conversation with Mo, right? Like, maybe he's not the ultimate guy to have the conversation with, but I have a good relationship with him, right? Like, I would have thought it would have been Ryan.
Are you saying you don't have a better relationship with me, Jay? Is that what you're saying?
You should hear mine and Mo's pod. Like, if I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, put mine and Mo podcast
what is
on
it called?
It's not work related.
Not work related.
We talk about the Bills and how much they suck. And so, like, then I go forward with this. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, I get to have a fucking 2-hour conversation with you, and plus the bullshit during the week.
Yeah.
And then I can maybe distill that to a fucking 10-minute conversation with him. You know what I mean? And say I've molded over, and he doesn't need to know how I molded over. But the first thing is, like, I know this because of Brian. You know what I mean? I would never overstep your, you know what I mean, like, position in this. But it's not like that would be a surprise to anybody, right? Like if you're bringing up people, it's because you have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And they would hope that you're not just surprising Alvin with this decision. You're not going to say he's reluctant because that's bullshit for you and Alvin.
Yeah.
It's bullshit for me and you. So that's fine. But I would never say to you, hey, I had a meeting with Mo and brought your name up. It would be like, I'm thinking of having a meeting with Mo, and I'm going to bring your name up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, if you say no, then, you know, whatever. Then I would find that surprising. You know what I mean? Because it's not a reason not to. You know what I mean? It's part of this process. You know what I mean? Like, it's why I know about the whole thing. So now I would be able to just say, listen, I'm conflicted. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get out of my way for being a leader and all this stuff. And then it's like, you know what? Part of me was thinking sales. And I'm not saying I could just jump on, but I could see myself. I don't know. Again, it's maybe because of my co-op in high school where I went to fucking work for Wilcox 4 days a week and then went to school. Don't remember a fucking thing what we did that day at school.
You remember
but what if I do
Wilcox?
4 days of work on Dependable, 3, and then go on a meeting with Albert? What if, or I like just bring a change of clothes and then I'm a junior salesman. That's not like a foot in the door and like I'm such a foot in and out kind of guy.
So you really liked sales.
I think that's where my ultimate potential can shine.
I think personally, leveraging your relationship with Albert would do more for you than Mo.
But this is where I bring it up, right? Like, so who would I talk to first, Albert or Mo?
Well, it depends. Like, sales is not. I think
That's a good point. I can
sales
bring
is
it to
not
Albert.
necessarily leadership unless you're going to lead sales. But if you brought it up to Albert and said, like, man, like you start to say, like, what is it like in sales? And then he starts to tell you, and then you say, like, you know, I've been thinking about moving out of this. Like, Albert holds a lot. He brings a lot of big contracts. They talk about him all the time.
And he would be willing, because he wouldn't be giving it to a stranger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's known me since fucking you were born, right? Like, I think if I was willing to put in the work, I don't
Why
want to
not?
steal any of his money. I think
He
you're
doesn't-
right.
I don't think he cares.
I don't think you're right. Well, no, it's not like just inheriting his fucking contracts. But I want in an apprentice type of way.
Yeah.
He was an apprentice type of way for me to learn how to build a foreman's lock.
Why not do it again?
You're right. So you think in this conversation that's something I would bring up to Albert more than Mo?
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
Mo,
I get you.
I
get
Mo
it.
is very Mo.
But
is,
it would get to Mo eventually.
Yeah, Mo is more on like developing like HR things that we've never had, because you know Wilcox has never had a real HR, so he's really developing programs that we don't have. But if you're talking about like pulling like certain sales weight, like who's better than Albert and Grant? Well, who likes Grant? I don't want to say that on here.
Albert doesn't.
Right? Like,
Oh, maybe
who's
now.
better than Albert and Grant in this situation?
Yeah,
You
I
know
have
what
enough,
mean?
I can tell you there's mutual respect between Grant and I as well.
What the fuck?
I
You
don't
respect Grant?
enough.
Sorry, I shouldn't say names.
No,
like that.
I understand what you're saying, but yeah, like
You understand?
no, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah.
be hard for me to explain, but I actually could tell him. You know what I mean? Like try to explain myself.
Mhm.
He would actually understand because he's the fucking son-in-law of the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
God.
that's not unrecognizable to somebody like him. And I've built the things that he sold.
Mhm.
Like, and same with Albert. You know what I mean? Like my relationship would hold weight with them more. You're right. I
think
would
that's a
want
better-
Mo to know, but by telling Albert first, it would eventually get to Mo.
Yeah,
It would get to Mo and Ryan in this not stuck in the past type of way.
Yeah, it would. But another thing you're gonna have to remember is sales is not concerned with Ryan. So you'd be in a whole different.
No, I get it. No,
department.
I'm
You'd
not.
be-
They have to have a relationship with them.
They do, but you know they report to different people.
Okay.
Remember, I showed you that list. Remember of the hierarchy.
Yeah, no,
That's a real list. They just John P's just I keep saying his last name. I can't call him by his first name.
doesn't matter. Just say John.
He's it just feels weird, you know what I mean? He asked for an updated list, and it's an actual real, I think it was an HR driven thing as well.
Okay, I'm confusing with the people that are needing to be talked to or whatever, and now I'm diverting off of this leadership like idea.
Yeah,
I'm going.
Feel like your leadership is done.
I'm going. Yes. So this is where I'm guessing at. It's gone the second I have to work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone the second I have to work 5 days a week. I can get over the other shit and do that. So then that's what the sales idea comes is it's like, well, how can you progress? Like what else can these qualities that can make you a good leader will also make you a good salesman? What makes Albert a good salesman is he was a leader. He's done all the things that you did. Right, like he wasn't a supervisor because he went straight from foreman to sales, but it wasn't as much of a structured system in place as there is now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he would take your job before sales, or you could. But the reason why you could, like the reason why you and I could be the future of what I just assumed was Albert's department. You know what I mean? Like you tell me these other people, but he built it to whatever it is now, and he has like a senior position. Like he's somebody who could have retired, but now he's like almost a consultant in a way, I would imagine, and which is why I could benefit from my relationship with him, and why you were bang on with saying, if you're willing to do this, the first person you talk to is Albert.
Yeah.
And then where it comes into Mo and all that, it's just, and again, in my perfect world, it doesn't happen, is I create like a junior position where I still get to kind of build stuff. Okay, go to a sales course. Okay, you know what? We're going on an important meeting. Like bring a change of clothes Tuesday. You know what I mean? Or like this is a client, like somewhere where I could just sit in a meeting and not be a guy that just comes and say, hey, I hear you're hiring for salesmen. I want to be one. Well, what do you bring to the table? Somewhere I can go is like, listen, you guys need salesmen. I know nothing about it. Are you willing to teach me? And does that include, you know what I mean? What does that process start with?
Yeah.
Is it 1 day a week for the first 6 months? And then when does it become a full-time sales gig? Like, do I get to sit in meetings and learn how you fucking do it?
Or
I can let people beat
full-time
me.
right off the jump.
Then I would have to decide that. You know what I mean? Like if it's something I would really willing to get out of my way for, because I've resisted that side of me altogether. Right? Like, it's one thing to do a podcast where you don't think your fucking voice wants to be heard around.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I know I'd be good at it. And whatever frustrations, just like I have frustrations building the truck now, but those are it's so easy to control what I build with my hands. Right? If I fuck up the Lego, it's because my hands.
Yeah.
If I lose a contract, it's because maybe I'm not good looking enough, or I didn't fucking, you know what I mean? Like say what the guy wanted to say. I mean, the good looking part is when you're trying to pick up chicks or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I hate rejection,
Yeah.
right? Like you always just second guess, is it me? And I you know what I mean? Like I don't dwell on that part, but it's just like self-esteem, you know what I mean? Like it's something that's a hard thing for me to like always have.
Yeah.
And it's like salesmen, like that's the last thing they have, but they're faking it till they make it, just like everything else.
Exactly.
And so I get that now. And so if I have to get over the fucking being less physical and opportunity, like that's, you know what I mean? Or like, but this is the opportunity to be higher up. You're looking at the tree. The status is the least thing in my mind.
Yeah.
But I'm in my own way about that. It wouldn't hurt if I wanted status. You know what I mean? Like, would I be making more money? Sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the money part. So I changed the leadership idea and the positive traits I have for that to like thinking like, yeah, like if I can't get over being there at 6 o'clock in the morning, then I really don't want to be a leader. And so if I really don't want sales, but my leadership qualities could carry over to that, the reason why I'm a good leader is because of my knowledge of the company. That's what would make me a good salesman.
Yeah.
Your political ways, your fucking people person skills would make you a good salesman. Your knowledge of the company would help, but it's not the same knowledge I have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter. You have the new knowledge. You would sell the new products. You would sell the new type, but you can never. That's what makes Albert and Joe a good salesman. That's why they make Joe a salesman. He couldn't be as much any more of a leader than he was, and says, you know what? Like we need sales. Like go out there. Like however he became a salesman is how I could become a salesman. He is my example.
Yeah.
They took him from a raw clump of fucking clay and made him a salesman.
Yeah, and I think if you want to, I think you need to explore doing that path if that's what you want to do earlier than later, because it only gets harder to transition to those type of things when things are bigger, things are more structured. Like it just gets harder.
Well, that's why I could bring it to Albert in a way, right? Yeah. Again, like he's not part of your meetings or nothing to do with it.
No.
But I can just say to him in a way like, listen, man, can I talk to you for a minute? I'm going to practice on you. Can I talk to you for a minute? Listen.
No!
Damn it. See, rejection already.
Oh, shit.
I hear that, you know what I mean? They're looking for leader positions. They're doing things in this company. Like I've contemplated on this and I just really don't want to do it, but it's getting harder to be physical on this. He'll recognize that part, right?
For
like
sure.
It's hard to physical.
Silver Fox.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? So I have to go like how this is because I would be able to like milk his ego or whatever. Again, I'm pretending I've already thought. Of
course.
I'm going to go back to the conversation. So, hey, can I have a conversation? Don't say no. Yes. Okay. So,
absolutely.
Listen, part of me was wondering if there's a way for me to get into sales somehow. If there's a junior position or just like an apprenticeship, just like you taught me way back in the day to how to weld.
That's like perfect.
And then it's like, and then I just because I know that
hired. Sorry.
So then I would go. To be honest with you, if there was a massive positive reaction to that, if all of a sudden I was getting fucking people coming over, like Mo would say, holy shit, I heard you want to do this, holy shit, like all this kind of stuff, I'd be like, I would have to get out of my own way and say, okay, let's start this right away.
Yeah.
Because again, who gets to make their own schedules?
Salesmen.
Who gets to go golfing on business things?
Salesmen go out for dinners. They're going to Shoeless Joe's in like a couple weeks.
So, and if I have a $50 million company that has, if I'm not like the thing that I always hated, like what I always didn't appreciate was how great my mom was at sales. But she worked for big companies. She worked away from like Campar and FedEx and all that to Canada Post, right? So the ultimate biggest package company in the fucking world or our country. My dad was an entrepreneur. So he lived and died by the phone ringing.
Yeah.
So he's the ultimate salesman. The thing is, the world's turned us all into salesmen. Like, I think it was always the trait that, like, it's the second oldest profession in the world, maybe. But even those girls are salesmen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, so,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, so it's sales. It's always sales. And now more than ever. And I know the Wilcox brand. And I know to say the word Wilcox brand.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, not that that's new, but it's new to people like me in a way.
You should do it.
Yeah, I think I should. So that's how I thought of this
100%.
leadership conversation.
100%.
Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate it. And
I
so-
don't appreciate it because then I won't see you. But whatever. If that's
No,
what you
but
want
we
to
will
do.
see each other like this.
Yeah, on Fridays.
You don't appreciate it because, no disrespect, you're not doing this so you have somebody under you that you can trust, but it doesn't hurt.
I don't.
Like, that's
yeah.
why.
Yeah.
That's why. If you become an ultimate supervisor and I'm one of your lead hands
Nah.
or foreman, no. You're not doing it. You're doing it for many reasons, Brian. But part of it is that's somebody I can trust.
Yeah. That's a
Right?
benefit.
And with benefit, that's a benefit for you. So I'm not saying it's your only reason, and you would miss that. But you know, what I mean, like, anyway, that's where my potential. I think I could see it.
I like that.
All
I
right,
think you should do it.
I'll let you know.
And for the record, no, I just think you need to get out of that position.
That I'm in now.
I just don't want you to be stuck there. I don't think it makes any sense, and I think the potential is wasted. That's
appreciate
how
it,
I
Brian.
really feel about it.
I know you do, and I recognize that that's not my first and foremost thought, and it's a detriment. You don't want that for your kids. Nobody wants that for people they know, and I recognize that. I mean, by the way, it's a comfort zone thing. It's like I know what I'm like makes me happy, and I do it, but I get stuck in that rut. You've given me many examples of when I don't. So I don't not appreciate it for you, but just like the argument of the whole like the TELUS thing. It's like sometimes it is good what I've cultivated my comfort zone. Like it's not taken, you know what I mean? Like I enjoy it, but it's also, you're right. Like I recognize this is maybe a pivotal time. And so
Yeah.
that's the only reason I taught it. Like it made me look at my potential. I'm overboard to like not using myself to be a leader, but what else can I do with those traits?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm really considering it. I wouldn't be surprised by the same time next week that I can tell the people that I had this conversation with this person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I don't.
I would be.
I know. I'll feel like I've let everybody down if I don't.
Yeah, you said it on air.
I
Heard you.
I was thinking about it.
Everybody heard you that you're gonna do it.
No,
So.
everybody heard I was thinking about it.
Okay, fine.
All right? Like I'm not saying that for this. Yeah, I'm saying that so I don't have to backtrack. Like I don't know if I really want to just get out of that comfort zone.
Okay.
Right? Like I don't know, but I think it would be I think I would, now that I've recognized it, this would be a bigger missed opportunity than becoming Ali's lead hand.
Well, not even Ali's lead hand. It would be Marcel at this point.
You know, whatever.
And that's even worse. No, I don't know. Fucking around.
It's not gonna have to be anything like this. I'll get into other shit afterwards, but I loved our rap beef conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't have to fucking get in this, but I don't know if I need an update every week, but I missed it.
Kendrick Lamar dropped a second diss track today.
But before you see, now you've jumped the gun. I heard that fucking Drake was even getting sued by Tupac's estate. Like,
Yes.
what happened? So Drake is getting distracked by dead people.
Yeah, so he dropped another diss track, but he used he wrote the verses of Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and he used AI to change his voice into their voice, and he was talking to Kendrick saying like, man, you got to stand up for the West Coast. Why haven't you dissed yet? And all this kind of stuff. And so the Tupac estate, which is not even owned by the Tupac family, so it doesn't even matter, sued him to try and get it taken down. But like I had originally told you with the first diss track, Drake never released it on streaming platforms. He never profited from any of it, so you can't really sue because he didn't
Smart.
profit. So he just the first diss track he never profited from until a week later. Actually, our last episode after you left is when he put his first diss track on streaming things, and then the second diss track dropped, and then that's like nothing.
Do they pretend it got leaked? Is that how they like it gets out there?
No, he put it out there on like stream, like podcasts, like hip hop podcasts and stuff like that. He gave it to like this one
so
podcaster.
it's on the internet, and
on
it's
the
not
internet.
like somebody's copyrighted his stuff.
Yeah,
he's
no.
done it. It's like, oh, I get it. Okay,
Yeah, he's like there, but he just didn't put it on official streaming platforms to
interesting.
monetary gains.
It's like
I
for
guess.
monetizing it.
I mean, does he need it? No, but so
It's how originally why comedians did podcasts for free so they would get live tickets.
yeah.
Like eventually just keeps his name in the fucking game.
Well, he said he's on a break. He's on a break. He's not.
How can you be on a break if you keep
albums.
putting out tracks every week?
Somebody dissed him, so he was like, "Fuck it, then." I have time. In one of the songs, he said, "Oh, you dissed me at the perfect time. I have time now."
So then Kendrick Lamar just did something today, you said?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's good? So
It's pretty good.
Who's winning other than you?
I think right now it's at a tie. We're waiting for Drake to come back. I think we're waiting for Drake to come back.
Did Kendrick Lamar have to clap back?
He had to.
He had to?
He had a lot of pressure from the industry, from society, hip hop society. He had to. Because I think I said this last week. Their beef has been going on for years, right?
I appreciate it more than I did
They've
the
been
first
doing
conversation.
little under things, and then there was this moment where it came up. If you back out now, you're a bitch. If you're talking all this shit for years, a decade, I think they said. It's been like a decade. And you're talking all this shit, and now it actually happens, and you're going to run away, you're a bitch, in my opinion. And none of them did, so.
Oh, man. But it still doesn't seem contrived.
No.
Like, to keep their names going.
No, because they're both they're the top two rappers, hip hop artists in the world. Kendrick Lamar and Drake has like always been like 1 and 2. It's like the Tupac. Actually, Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God and thing.
Yeah.
They said like this is the Tupac Biggie beef of the modern era. So that's how big it is.
See, unfortunately, I think
Tupac
that's
and Biggie.
What?
You know Tupac and Biggie?
Who? What's it? I'm a Biggie fan. I respect Tupac. I'm not like it's hard. Like, why do you have to make me choose, right? Like, but like, and I actually don't think there's a fucking case.
You don't?
No, I think fucking Biggie has everything that I want. As like, I'm not in the world, right? Like, I'm just wanting to be an entertained person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tupac isn't funny at all.
No.
Like, Biggie's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, Biggie fucking like can make things like hardcore and funny in the same fucking sentence.
The greatest storyteller, man.
That's maybe what it is. Like, I respect Tupac's story, maybe. Like, his mom was a Black Panther. Like, he has more relevance in a movement.
And see, that's the thing. Tupac is just like Kendrick Lamar. They do the same they make the same type of
Interesting.
motivational music, especially like Black Power type stuff.
Interesting.
And Biggie is like Drake.
Interesting. I never looked at it like that because you know how I look at it? When Biggie's telling his story, it's a Black empowerment in a way. You know what I mean? Like, he became who he is by himself from his position.
Yeah.
He's not. It's why like criticism of Michael Jordan or LeBron in a way is like you're not standing up for the movement. It's like I do a lot, but you know what I mean? I'm also selling shoes over here.
Yeah.
Like Biggie's like I'm getting mine.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Black guy like, coming up from where you know what I mean? Like where I started from. And that's where I started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
Right? But it's like, and that's fucking, but it's not like Drake started from Bronx. You know what I mean? Like we saw him on Degrassi.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't have the same kind of street cred, if that's the right words, that Biggie kind of had.
Yeah.
Like, I think both Biggie and Tupac had no choice but to have street cred, where both Drake and Lamar don't have to have that same kind of street cred.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not saying they were like, in a comparison, they both had maybe, I don't know Lamar at all.
He's from Compton.
Yeah, see, so I'm a little bit talking out of my ass.
But he's
here.
never been that kind of guy.
I don't call. That's what I'm getting at. He never sang about, you know what I mean, like the streets like that in a way, or gangs like that. I'm sure it's existent, but they both we
don't believe him.
When we came from Tupac and Biggie, it was like the Bloods and the Crips were like such a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying who's won, but the East Coast, West Coast, like it was such a gang. Like gangs were in the fucking like the gang world was in the part of the story of it or whatever. So, but it was just like the whole That's what the NWA and Biggie like were telling the same story, and you know what I mean. Like Tupac was just more about this more like powerful movement, right. And so I had never even equated it to that, and I get that's part of the story too. But I just thought it was hilarious. You know what's fucked is though, it's like you said it's Tupac's estate. I hope his family probably sold the estate.
Yeah.
It's the same as like the Beatles selling their music to Michael Jackson or other people selling their music off.
It's actually this white couple who owns them.
So does that end up being something?
I mean, I don't know.
Are they good or bad for doing that?
I think they should have just not said anything at all. Because like I said, it
Yeah, I
wasn't
guess
for
so.
monetary
Yeah,
gain.
true.
So what are you doing? You're just wasting time.
That kills it right there.
So I'm just like whatever. Like this is a fight about who's the best rapper. And that's what they're really doing. Kendrick Lamar said it in his first diss track. Like, we don't have to get personal. We can talk about who's really the best. We can show who's the best, and that's what they're doing. It's actually getting crazy.
Is Drake distracting, not bringing a lot to the table, to adding an AI fucking Tupac to the fucking problem?
Well, so
is that distracting? What you know what I mean? Like now we're not talking about his lyrics. We're talking about something else.
I don't think it is, because that track in particular was just like a little edge on, like, because Drake dropped a diss track and he didn't hear anything, and so then he dropped this and it was just basically, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just Tupac talking to Kendrick Lamar saying like, bro, you're supposed to stand up for the West Coast, and then Snoop Dogg talking to Kendrick Lamar like, man, I gave you the key, I gave you the pass the torch to you and all this kind of stuff, and like you're not doing anything. Like, what are you doing? It was more like edging him on. Kendrick Lamar came out very hard. Like, he was saying like a lot of stuff, but like, and then Snoop Dogg actually responded to that video, to that song, but he just put a video. He's like, huh? I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm going back to bed. And then he just went
That's
back
pretty
to
funny.
bed.
That's
right?
just him trying to get his nose into like, whatever. Like he
He's
cares.
Like, what? Why is everybody DMing me? He's
That's
like, I don't care.
hilarious.
Like, he's not suing you. He's not suing Drake over that shit.
See, ultimately, that's what the real power of the weed does.
Oh,
It takes the fucking edge off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you people talking about over there? You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's what Snoop's got.
Don't be idiots.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. I guess we're going to have to make sure I put it on as a permanent fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Like the rap beef of the week.
It's crazy.
It's not even beef. It's these two only.
Yeah.
Is there other
these
ones
two-
going on?
Probably, but nobody cares. This is the moment in hip hop. This is like 50 Cent Ja Rule. Do you remember that?
No. I
Oh
told you I
my
have no fuck.
gosh.
I had a okay, I don't know how this is going to come across.
You
So
know who they are.
50 Cent came up on the scene. Like I'm mainstream, capital M. So like 50 Cent came out on the scene with the I don't even know the name
Get
of the
Rich or
song.
Die Trying.
What?
Langsta.
Yeah, that song was banging.
Yeah.
Like it was out of nowhere. Again, had all the street cred of Biggie. Had a lot of fucking Tupac's look.
Yeah.
I don't know if his message wasn't as powerful, but it just had more of a party vibe.
Yeah.
Right? And that's beautiful. Had all the fucking power behind him. I wasn't saying anything was fake about him, but he just seemed contrived. You know what I mean? Like he just seemed fucking like propped up. Like I didn't, other than just like a banging song to listen to, I just don't care of hearing anything that 50 Cent ever said. Like he never had any positive message I wanted to hear.
No, he's not positive.
No, and he never, I'm not saying he was a bad person.
He's
he was just
hilarious, though.
What?
He's hilarious.
In a good way, or is this in a laugh
good
at
way.
him type of way?
In a good way. If you ever follow his Instagram
No.
and just see the type of shit he does, is so funny.
I think the most recent thing I've heard of him is that whatever his position was in the conversation was righteous, and he was making fun of whoever was making fun
That's
of him before.
basically what he does.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've never really paid much attention to him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He was just a ripped fucking party fucking, like you know what I mean? Like it was, that video was fucking like undeniable when it came out.
Oh, did you know that he just opened a studio?
How do you mean?
Like a movie studio. It's like 5-6 buildings, G-Unit Studios.
Okay, I have zero, why would you do that? This is a total conversation. We say, when I think of that idea, I think of it's bad. Just like when Tyler Perry saw fucking the Sonya, what's the AI? What's the video AI that fucking makes background shit from you? Like what made Tyler Perry shut down his studio?
He didn't.
He looked at that fucking video. Goes, there's no way I need to make a fucking building studio.
He already has it. It's more than 5 buildings. It's like 12.
Yeah, but what's the
crazy.
story when he saw the AI? Like, again, we're going to bore people with more tech talk.
Yeah.
That Sora, is that the AI program?
It's not because at the end of the day, people have appreciation for how things are shot, and if it looks too fake, nobody's doing it.
Money talks.
Money does talk, but I don't. AI is not taking away film studios anytime soon.
Have you seen those fucking videos?
I've seen all of them, and it's not. There's something to be said with how things are shot on a camera, and like AI can't get hands right. They can't get like a lot of stuff right.
I don't think it needs to. I don't think you need
think
5
it does.
buildings to get the hands right anymore.
No, that's like shooting in a studio. Like, for example, Fallout. Which did you watch?
Not yet. Sorry, bro. It's on the channel. It's on the.
So I
agenda.
saw a thing that said
Did you watch Big
Fallout.
Brother?
No, they built like all the stuff from Fallout. It's all in the studio.
So you think that helps to the show?
That's just how. Yeah, it adds more realism to it than any CGI or AI can.
That's
do.
fine. I'm sure there's a place. I think we're in another transition, like a turning point in how this is all worked out.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think the
but-
first people to do it will be Disney. You're going to AI do your already CGI. That is more close relationship than to do AI live action. Like,
and
live
the bigger
action's
companies do
hard.
it. It's like why Ford can have a better assembly plant than we can. Like they can get a better
but Netflix
assembly machine.
Netflix has studios. Like a lot of people have studios like Universal. They have like
So
all
old
massive,
school.
but that's just you can't. It's so hard. Like when you watch a CGI movie, you know what's CGI.
Sure.
It's easier to equate like a CGI movie with an AI thing. I think Disney is going to be the first. Personally, you won't be able to replace a lot of things.
You take a look at the original Star Wars, and then you take a look at the '90s Star Wars.
Take a look at the Star Wars now,
And then you get it. So you don't even a layman like me doesn't even realize what's not getting done by actual people's hands, right? Like what is like however CGI, and AI or like.
Well,
like,
I do know that Star Trek, for example, Discovery was filmed in Toronto, and that show is done now. Fifth season is done, and they did it all in studio.
I'm not saying it's still not done like that. Just like they're still building the buildings. But this like AI, like that Sora thing, is just the beginning. Like we've talked about other things, like if The Expanse. Okay, like The Expanse needed to make some CGI shit, and they're in a big studio in Toronto, and they do things a certain way with green screens. What I think this technology is going to do, it's not going to get rid of green screens altogether, but they'll still have to use green screens. But it's going to be like what green screens were to background artists.
Yeah,
Right? Like we used to have to make all the buildings. We used to have to make the fucking ghost town. And then it became in the studio. And then so it's the overarching like view of the fucking old Western town or the overarching shot of a spaceship in space.
absolutely.
Or the new worlds.
which is already done outside of a studio, so that's not going to change what's done outside of a
But it's going to take more of those things. It's going to like make, like pinpoint, like, I don't know how it works, but just even say like in 1883, like where all these old school shots that they have to do in the middle of Montana. And they do, but they can like somehow film them on their horses in Hollywood or Toronto or whatever, and then like mix in this new Sora data. Like, you know what I mean? That they have, and like it's not going to get worse.
Yeah, but if you're already there filming with the actors, you're just going to put a drone up and take the shot.
Listen, I don't know how it went from having background actors to people acting with tennis balls all over their fucking bodies in a fucking suit.
It's different things. It's not all used in like in a Western, you don't use CGI really. You know what I mean?
I'm not even talking.
I'm just saying it's like genre. It's not like CGI is not used broad over the whole industry. It's only used for certain specific things. Typically like space movies, underwater, more fantasy movies, you'll see a lot of CGI. But things that you can shoot in real life, they will always shoot in real life. It will never change.
I think you're right. I'm just saying, like they're not going to fucking give us AI actors or AI, you know what I mean, like fucking emotional scenes or like important things, but a lot of extra stuff. Like just like Star Wars needed 200 extras to film to put all the stormtroopers in a fucking ship.
Yep.
Then they can just, and when they get to the 90s, they can like, hey, these are all just CGI clones.
Yep.
And if you look at it now, go look at those fucking stupid CGI clones.
Yeah.
But at the time, like again, like the Jurassic Park, like holy shit, look how real that dinosaur looks.
Yeah.
It's hard to look at it now and say it's real, and you
For
see
sure.
it. So I just don't know how much of stuff that we take for granted was worked by people. You know what I mean? Is going to get like swallowed up in with these new AI like programs. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just like where, like I said, you used to have to just they're coming in. I don't know what it is, Brian, but I do right now. I think it's a general like an overarching like view of something. It's not the hands. It's not the actor's mouth.
Yeah.
It's not their. You know what I mean? Like it's not that, but the fucking people in the background of Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like we're never going to know their names. They're fake as fuck.
Absolutely.
And so that's why all I've heard was that when the Tyler Perry was like, "Holy shit." I was about to make a fucking studio, and I saw that, and like, what am I wasting my money on?
Well, I think he's bullshitting because that thing has been made for years.
That's fine. I don't even know how I got to that. What to jump off totally is I'm psyched about the F1 coming back. I've lost a lot of money in my playoffs.
So I watched F1 Academy.
Oh shit! I never
this
did.
morning.
And how the girls doing?
I mean,
With the women crashing everywhere? How dare you?
they weren't crashing, but when you're practicing and you're every lap someone's coming off the lap, it's like, come on, man, your cars aren't that fast.
Fucking not even to jump off. We're gonna run out of time. I noticed that there's a Saudi AI racing league.
Yes.
All the cars are autonomous.
Yeah, they tried that
They're
last
garbage.
year.
Obviously,
yeah,
right
it's
now
crap.
they're garbage.
It's crap.
Okay. Is it better than the women?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm
How
kidding. You can see the talent sometimes, right?
AI?
You can see the talent. No,
Sorry.
in the women. You can see the talent, but it's just like it's just so different that
So
you're
it's
just
right
like,
now. It's like I said. I know they need it, but it's like a charity to give them this opportunity.
It's funny because I was watching the practice and they're like, this is a great stepping stool on a ladder to getting to better things, because a lot of these girls have been in like F4. There's women's leagues in like F4 and like all around the world, and they've been in that, but they never had steps to get to F1 or even F3. You know what I mean?
I like it. No, I appreciate
So
it. I'm
that's
just trying to
the
make fun
thing.
with people.
No, they're crap. No, I'm kidding.
I'm really psyched about the Miami F because the Dolphins are my team. Like I love them and leave them like the Leafs. So I'm glad we can get out of this conversation about the playoffs going on.
Yeah.
Fuck the Lakers. Fuck
Man,
the
3-3, man. 3-3.
I
The
still
Leafs are
like hanging in there.
3-3.
So I really appreciate them. If they lose, I'm fooling myself like everything else. I'll still be heartbroken. But I appreciate their fight back.
Man, if they win.
Of course. I mean, they be slaying so many demons. Like they lost in the second round last year to the Florida team, and I don't hate it as much as losing to Boston in the first round again. Like losing in the first round when you're up 3-1 is what's happened to us many times. But coming back from 3-1 and going, the problem is why I can't fully go on board is we've been in Boston in Game 7 up 4-1 with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And we've lost.
Yeah.
Like that's not my fucking that's never going to be out of my memory.
But that's not this team.
I hope your optimism carries. But I've been so impressed. The last night was fucking fantastic.
Timely for Nylander coming back.
But now Matthews has been the fucking shitty
Is Matthews coming back?
I mean I can't imagine him not making. I don't know what he's suffering from if he
miss
can't be
Game
back.
7?
I think they're fucking like him and they must have COVID or something. I have no idea what's wrong with these guys.
Crazy.
They're just all of a sudden out of the lineup. But anyway, the goalie was like the game last night was so good.
The brick wall.
Yeah, man. Like it's always happened for other teams. Rookie goalie comes in and stands on his head. When Patrick Waugh came into the league,
Oh, man.
I remember he was a rookie goalie standing on his head, leading him to the cup.
Forever?
But no, 86, he came in and fucking, I didn't want Montreal to win. I wanted Calgary to win, but this is when, back in the day when two Canadian teams could compete for the cup. Never mind not winning for 30 years by one of them.
Right.
But I don't want any of them to win if it's not mine. But anyway, so it's there. This is why I haven't played video games for a while. Like the playoffs are large.
Yeah.
Like Siakam is a fucking cult hero in fucking Indianapolis already.
He's probably loving it.
They are loving it. No, you know what though? When he talks about it, he is loving it. But you can see, I don't know if he's a Toronto boy.
Yeah.
He's never not going to be a Toronto boy. We taught him how to be, I didn't do. He learned how to be a man here.
Yeah.
And he's taking that experience. He loves taking it to another team. OG is fucking, New York loves OG.
Oh, man.
Like, he's not that type of guy to, you know what I mean? Like, when he shows emotion, it's great because he never really does. You know what I mean? And he's one of my favorite Raptors. And Like he's got the most dunks in the whole playoffs.
Holy.
Like he's like large over other people. Like he's slamming it down.
Let's
like
go,
he's using all
OG.
that physical ability that he has.
Let's go, G.
And so I love it. I'm living it. I'm fucking losing money every time, but I don't know how that's happening because I don't follow my heart on my bets. And that's good. And this F1 thing, before you fucking interrupted it with fucking women drivers, is so many things I love about it because it's my fucking team. Like it's in their stadium.
Yeah.
This is a fucking totally sidebar. Somebody tried to buy the Dolphins for 10. The Dolphins own that race.
Oh yeah.
The owner of the Dolphins owns that race.
Oh, the track.
He owns the race because he would have even had it downtown Miami, but they didn't want it. So he converted the complex where the stadium is.
Yeah.
But that stadium converts itself for tennis tournaments, for lots of shit. And so the Redskins or the Commanders got fucking sold for $5 billion. Like NFL teams are worth the most in all sports.
Yep.
Somebody wanted to buy the Dolphins for $10 billion because they're NFL and they own this team, and he said no.
Of course
That's
not.
crazy.
Of course not.
There's no other team that's worth more, the entity that's worth more than my team, like the Dolphins right now.
I mean, the Lakers.
They don't. I bet you the Dolphins are worth more than the Lakers.
Should we Google it?
Yes. Like we'll do it. We'll talk
I
about it
wouldn't
next
be
week.
surprised. We'll talk about it
because
next
they
week.
own the fucking F1 race.
Yeah.
Like they're worth more than the Lakers. The Lakers don't own an F1 race. The Lakers would probably sell for $7 or $8 billion. The fucking Suns would sell high because they're in a market that's huge.
You overvalued them.
Overvalue everybody. You're
You
overvaluing the
overvalued
Lakers.
the Lakers.
Okay. Oh, they're not 6 or 7.
They're 5.9.
That's what they're worth.
Yeah.
Somebody would pay more.
Oh, for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. So in this article,
Golden State Warriors
somebody
are
came
the
out of the
highest.
blue to pay the fucking Dolphins $10 billion, and the guy
Yeah.
said no.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so whatever. So I've always appreciated this race with the fake boats, with all the American celebrities that are, you know what I mean? Like they're pushing this race.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with the fucking Netflix show.
It's the most cringy though,
Why?
because how they present it.
How do you mean? Oh, because you see they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
I don't care about. All I do is watch the race
Yeah. That's what I do now too.
Well-
Especially Miami.
because it's just too much bullshit
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
So they don't have the same kind of European bullshit when it goes to Monaco.
No.
And all these other Silverstone. Like they have a lot of self-importance for the Italian Grand Prix.
but not like gaudy.
Yeah,
you know?
you're right. Miami's
That's
nothing.
the
So
only thing.
that's what they love.
Yeah, that's
this
what
is
they
like,
love.
This
You
is the
have to
elite
do
meeting the
it.
gaudy. So I love the spectacle for me on my couch is great.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's in a fucking proper time. Like I didn't have to tape anything. I get to watch fucking practice today.
Right?
Qualifying as soon as I finish this show.
Right?
So, and the sprint race, like all that shit. Like
Yeah.
I'm fucking hyped. I'm very hyped.
I'm glad. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, I think that's about it.
Well, as you said, for finishing the show, I want to thank everyone for listening to the Work Related Podcast.
we are related by work on Twitter. I hope people appreciated my naked fire truck. We got a little bit of action on that, and I don't think I'll be much this week, but we'll see you guys next week.